here in Misano. Misano Adriatico, situated on the Romagna Riviera, and even out of the holiday season, it brings a sense of vacation and relaxation. And what a weekend, postponed, of course, from late last year to the beginning of 2021. This is the Finali Mondiali weekend, with Ferrari Challenge races, F1 Clienti, and the XX programs as well. Of course, with all the necessary treatment involved, it is a slightly different Finali Mondiali for safety reasons, of course, but we are delighted to be back racing again. You're very welcome to join us here in Misano for race 2 of our Trofeo Pirelli cars that are out there on track now. They qualified earlier this morning in damp conditions. There was some rain around, that's gone away now. And the cars are out on track, ready for their 30-minute race. But, of course, all the data that they will have taken from this morning will have been in wet conditions, whereas now it is dry. So, Misano on the Adriatic coast, then. This is the location of this great circuit, the Misano World Circuit Marco Simoncelli. Some 4.226 kilometres. It's quite a technical track, to be honest. It contains 16 turns. 6 of them are left-handers, 10 of them are right-handers, and the sectors illuminated there in blue for Sector 1, in yellow for Sector 2, and for Sector 3, that is illuminated in Ferrari red, of course. So, it was a great race yesterday. We're expecting much of the same today. Thomas Neubauer goes from pole position, the Charles Pozzi Courage driver. And there you can see the entire grid. Here's the weather for you, though. It's warmed up a little bit, but not much. It's 9 degrees, the air temperature. Track temperature, 11 degrees only. A little bit of wind around, more wind than there was yesterday. It reaches some 7 kilometers per hour at the moment. So the cars all lined up behind the safety car. To the very left of your picture is the car of Thomas Neubauer, our pole sitter. To the right-hand side, you saw the car of Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. Real ding-dong battle in qualifying between those two to set the fastest time and, of course, to put the car on pole position. To the right-hand side of your picture there, Fabian Volven. To the left-hand side, it was Florian Merckx. As we make our way down the grid, and you can see more of the cars lined up there. A mix of Trofeo Pirelli drivers and also the AM drivers as well. The wind means that the flags are flying, and the Ferrari Challenge Finali Mondiali weekend reaches effectively day 2. World final races and Ferrari show to come tomorrow. John Vortique is the car to the left-hand side of your picture, car number 94 from Francorchamps Motors, Luxembourg. So much more than just the Ferrari Challenge racing. It always forms part of the Finali Mondiali weekend. Here are some of the highlights we've seen so far. Just some of our F1 Clienti, and also Marc Genet, the helm of a Formula One car. Doubtless that will form part of our Ferrari show tomorrow, as we also unveil the livery of the WEC cars, the full GT cars for the campaign in 2021. That will come in the Ferrari show that's part of the Finali Mondiali weekend tomorrow. So race 2 then is but a few moments away for our Trofeo Pirelli drivers, and they are all lined up behind the safety car. Of course, a rolling start for our Ferrari Challenge competitors, and the safety car will peel off, and it will be the responsibility of the front row, which contains Thomas Neubauer and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, to control the pace of the rolling start. Lots of our GT drivers are here. I've already mentioned Marc Genet, but also Miguel Molina is here and James Collado is here as well, and we'll be seeing and hearing from them over the course of this weekend. Frederik Poulsen, he didn't have the qualifying session today that he had yesterday, because yesterday he was the fastest of anyone. He's an AM driver and AM champion, to be fair, within Trofeo Pirelli. However, he is qualified way down the order today, P9 overall, although it's still P3 in class. So Frederik Poulsen not finding the weather conditions in qualifying to his liking this morning. He's got quite a bit of overtaking to do, but Frederik Poulsen can certainly do that. The man that did put it on pole position, though, for Charles Pozzi Garage, Thomas Neubauer. He did the same yesterday. He'll hope the start of the race is better for him today.
A very unlucky race, and today a new, very super fast pole.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the race of yesterday didn't go as we planned to, but today is a new day. Hopefully no one's going to crash into me at the start of today's race. But yeah, I'm just focusing on having a clean start, a good start, and focusing on my pace for the race. Cheers.
Thomas Neubauer then qualified on pole yesterday, and then through the sequence of turns 1, 2 and 3, there was contact between himself with Frederik Poulsen, and that took him out. Let's hear from Christian Brunsberg now. He's the AM pole sitter.
Yesterday you take a third place on the podium, and today you start in pole position.
Yeah, super happy with the performance earlier today in qualifying, and a big thanks to the team. So yeah, let's hope for a good race.
And a big thanks to Michele Mambelli down there on the grid for us, catching up with our pole sitters, Thomas Neubauer, the Trofeo Pirelli pole sitter, and Christian Brunsberg for Formula Racing, the AM pole sitter. There's Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, who'll have something to say about who's first when it comes to the first sequence of turns. He's on the front row of the grid alongside Thomas Neubauer. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, Trofeo Pirelli champion, and certainly in qualifying today, it looked more like the old Emanuele Maria Tabacchi that we know, because yesterday certainly didn't look like he was at one with the car. He certainly wasn't as dominant as he has been in the past. He made it onto the podium, but not on the top step, which is what he will want to do. Fabien Volvend did make it to the top step of the podium. The Octane 126 driver, Fabien then, and always certainly one to put some money on, and Fabien Volvend goes from P4 in class, P5 overall. Now, really impressive performance yesterday from the number 94 car and John Vortique of Francorchamps Motors Luxembourg. He did a very good job. He is third fastest in terms of the Pirelli drivers and fourth fastest overall, so it is a second row start. He's 147.472, giving him P3 within class. We are just moments away from the cars and the safety car being released for the formation lap, and we will get ready for 30 minutes of racing to come from the Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli. In front of them, 16 turns, 6 of them left-handers, 10 of them are right-handers. Alongside me, although not literally because of social distancing reasons, he's in a studio next door to me, and that is Nico Spalek. We're all set for a good race, friend.
Definitely. It was wet earlier. Track certainly looks dry now, so I don't expect any major drama, but it's always something to watch, especially in this tight first section of turns in the chicane. So it's going to be very critical for everybody to have control of their speed when they enter those sequence of turns.
Sure enough. You're absolutely right, because turns 1, 2 and 3, something of a funnel, and it's heading towards turn number 1 now is where we are, being on board with the safety car, turning into turn 1, and straight almost from turn 1, a quick blast of the throttle before we're into turn number 2, there it is, and now an even less of a blast of the throttle before turn number 3. Here's the grid in full for you. Thomas Neubauer, P1, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi alongside for P2. Best of the AM drivers, Christian Brunsberg goes from P3 with John Vortique alongside. Fabien Volvend and Florian Merckx occupy the third row of the grid, ahead of Mathieu Weibo and Cooper McNeil, whose car I didn't see on the grid, alongside P9, Frederick Paulsen, and Lucky Kerr, the UK champion. They go on row 5. Then it's Hanno Laskowski and Tomaso Roca, P11 and P12 on our grid. That sees John Dillon and David Gosner on P13 and P14, with AC and Hans Seconds, P15 and P16. Cloud Senaretti from the USA. Welcome, Cloud. He's on row 9 alongside Nicolo Rossi. And Marco Pulcini rounds out the grid formation, P19. So that's the way it looks. Who knows? Cooper McNeil, I'm trying to ascertain what the problem with Cooper is. But he's certainly not on the grid. On board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi then. There is the power plant of Frederick Paulsen's car. Third, and it shows you P3. That's P3 within class. It's actually starting further down the order than he would like. P9, quite a bit of overtaking for Frederick Paulsen to do. Colour codes, as you can see, for European racers, red. Blue for our North American racers. One of those, Cooper McNeil, missing from the grid. And Cooper is always one that you would bet on being right at the sharp end of the race. So weaving from side to side, generating some temperature into those tyres ahead of this 30-minute race. All the social media to the bottom left-hand side of your screen. Please be part of the Ferrari Challenge family. We would love you to do that, and we're delighted that you're here watching this, because we are thrilled that we are back racing again. It is the conclusion of the 2020 season, the final race in the season 2020 for our Ferrari Challenge Trofeo Pirelli drivers. There is the world final race to come tomorrow, but in terms of the 2020 season, this is their final championship race. The Trofeo Pirelli Championships for Europe, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi and Frederick Paulsen have already sealed those. And we are ready to go racing. The cars will be heading towards the timing line and the green flag. Hold on to your hats. We're about to go. And we get the greens. Let's go racing. Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, and well, it's a real drag race into turn 1 as he tries to unsettle Thomas Neubauer, and I think he may have done it. He's got his nose just in front. There's contact between the two of them, but Thomas Neubauer was steadfast as they run into the next turn. Turn number 4, they stay side by side. And Emanuele Maria Tabacchi actually losing out there to John Vortique as he tried to wrestle with Thomas Neubauer. He has been relegated from P2 to P3. Expect him to come back with a vengeance, though. So as the rest of the cars begin to settle down, Thomas Neubauer tries to stretch his legs over John Vortique, who showed really well in the race yesterday. There's Florian Merckx trying to make his way past Fabian Volvend, and Christian Brunsburg is still the leading AM driver, and he's not troubled by Mathieu Weibo or Lucky Kerr yet, because they've got cars to get past. And Fabian Volvend really putting the pressure on Florian Merckx now. We're hearing that Cooper McNeil is not competing in the race, but will be in the world final tomorrow. On board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi then inside the car that's running in P3 at the moment. Through turn number 4, he lost out his P2 position to a very good move by John Vortique. They put the first lap in the book now as they cross the timing line. And the order is Neubauer, Vortique and Tabacchi ahead of Brunsburg, Weibo and Paulsen in the AMs. A relatively clean and tidy start, Nico.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Neubauer was caught out yesterday, spun around, and you might have thought, oh, he'll be a little more careful through that first sequence of turns. He held his ground. He fought back when Tabacchi tried to go for the move, and as you said, Vortique then pounced on the inside on Tabacchi and took P2. That's going to be an interesting battle among the three of them for the rest of the race.
You bet, you bet. So As I mentioned earlier on, Cooper McNeil is in the race, but of course his focus is on the world final race tomorrow. That's the one he really wants to seal the deal, having already won the North American Trofeo Pirelli Championship. To the sharp end of this race, Thomas Neubauer, John Vortique and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi continuing to fight, and so too is Fabian Volvent, who's P6 overall, but really is pushing Florian Merckx very hard. It's Octane 126 versus Baron Motorsport for that place, and we pick that battle up now. As they come into this turn now, you can see they're virtually welded together, and Mathieu Weibo is trying to buy into that as well. Now, Mathieu Weibo's in a different class, but of course, for him to get on terms with Christian Brunsburg, who is running P4 overall, Mathieu Weibo needs to try and get past these two Trofeo Pirelli drivers of Fabian Volvent and Florian Merckx. And you can see Weibo really sliding the car around there. So there's Florian and Fabian Volvent, not close enough to be able to take a look at the inside. 0.6 is the margin between our leader and our P2 driver, and you can see that Thomas Neubauer is getting away from John Vortique, and in turn, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi needs to try and retake that place so that he can keep within shouting distance of Thomas Neubauer, but he's not able to do that at the moment, as we see. Lucky Kerr, one of our Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers, is in the pit lane as Emanuele Maria Tabacchi does get the better of John Vortique and moves himself into that P2 position, so it's back where he was. You could just see John Vortique was about to move into the turn and turn the steering wheel, and just as he was going to do that, he realized that the space he wanted to move into was full of the Emanuele Maria Tabacchi car. And that's how he did it. And a good overtake from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, and now maybe the chase is on for the lead of the race. He's got some time to make up because there's something like 0.7 between Thomas Neubauer and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. He would love to finish the season on a high, and a high means P1. What can he do now to chase down Neubauer? Neubauer frustrated and disappointed from yesterday's race. When he was odds-on favourite to win the race, he didn't even complete a whole lap because of the contact between himself and Frederik Poulsen, who, incidentally, Frederik Poulsen, the AM champion and the AM driver, is currently in P3 and chasing down Mathieu Weibo, although he's got a couple of seconds to make up. And is that Lucky Kerr returning from the pit lane? Yes, it is. So Lucky Kerr right into the flames of the fire. And he is now a backmarking driver, and he's kept out of the way of those that are battling for P1, 2 and 3. But Lucky Kerr, Nico, is now going to be another driver out there, and another driver for the likes of Vortique or for the likes of Brunsburg, Merckx and Volvent to have to contend with.
Yeah, definitely. And we can also see Cooper McNeil is now showing as running on our timing screen. So whatever he is there, and that is definitely very, very good to see him in the race. Possibly he started from the pit lane and we didn't see him. Certainly he wasn't on the grid formation. But this is really going to be interesting with Tabacchi and Neubauer. Tabacchi, as you said, not the best of days by his standards yesterday. He will want to build confidence for tomorrow more than anything else.
You're absolutely right. Jeffrey Grossbar just confirms that he can see from where he's situated. Knowing Jeffrey, he'll be right in the pit lane. Cooper indeed did start from the pit lane. He'll be using this as a test session for tomorrow's world final race. So great that he's out there, and expect him to do some overtaking. After saying that, he's done quite some overtaking already, Nico, because he's up to P13 overall, and that, of course, is P7 within class. So let's get back to the sharp end of this then. And you can see the blue flag being waved there. That's being waved at this red car, or the one that is behind this number 94 car. That's the car of Lucky Kerr. Here's a replay of the start then. And I'll tell you what, fair play to Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. He was really having a go, but also fair play to Thomas Neubauer, who was not going to be ousted on this occasion as he was yesterday. So running into turn one now. Barely a millimetre between the two cars, and you could see just how keen John Vortique was to take advantage of those two sparring at the front, and indeed he did, because he managed to get past Emanuele Maria Tabacchi and put himself into that P2 position for a couple of laps, and that's how he did it in replay. Ooh, great magnification there of the contact between Emanuele Maria Tabacchi and Thomas Neubauer, which, to be fair, Nico, is almost a carbon copy of what happened between Neubauer and Frederik Paulsen yesterday.
Yeah, pretty much. And a carbon copy of what we saw yesterday is our timing screen. Race Control has already warned a few drivers, that includes Christian Brunsberg, about exceeding track limits. And that is not a problem as of yet, but with 22 minutes remaining, that can become a problem for one or the other driver in terms of accumulating those messages, leading to a penalty later in the race.
Absolutely, and with Christian Brunsberg, good point, and well spotted from you. Christian Brunsberg leading the AM classification. Last thing he wants to do is to pick up a time penalty because of exceeding track limits. For my money now, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi is really taking the fight to Thomas Neubauer. The gap is down to just 3 tenths between the two of them. Let's go on board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi now. Thomas Neubauer is a very, very difficult guy to overtake, as are all the competitors in the Ferrari Challenge. But Tabacchi has seen off John Vortig. I don't think it'll be quite as straightforward in trying to find a way past Thomas Neubauer. Last 3 laps, you can see who's the quickest of the two. 2 of the last 3 laps, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi has got the pace. And in the gravel is the 251 car of Claude Seneretti, the Ferrari of Fort Lauderdale driver, which means, Nico, safety car. So the race gets neutralized with the safety car, and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi will be rubbing his hands with invisible soap, thinking this is a great opportunity for me, potentially now.
Definitely, all the gaps basically brought down to near on zero. That means everybody who had lost time will be able to catch up. We just see that Frederik Paulsen is dropping down our timing screen, and to the left of your picture, lost quite a few positions, and there is the reason. There is the reason, and that's not a good sight to see.
So Frederik Paulsen in the gravel, from hero to zero. And let's get this replay. What is this going to tell us? Oh, that looked like is that a tyre exploding, I think, Nico?
Looked like it. Very unusual for those Pirelli tyres, who are super reliable, but it did look like maybe he got a puncture, maybe something affected the tyre externally, and that led to a slowly developing puncture. And
Frederik, he was completely on his own. Yeah, he was completely on his own, wasn't he? Just the back end of the car stepped out, and Paulsen controlled it, but ended up in the gravel. So, a double reason then for the safety car to be out, which is the car that we're on board with now, looking back at Thomas Neubauer and Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, John Vortig and Christian Brunsberg, Florian Merckx, Fabian Volvend. This will also potentially be good for Fabian Volvend, who will feel that perhaps it increases her chances of getting past Florian Merckx on the restart when the safety car does come in. I can imagine that it's going to be out for a couple of laps to allow recoveries of those stricken cars that we've seen. The AC car and also that of Frederik Paulsen and Claude Seneretti, of course.
And the fact,
the
fact that we had 2 tyre issues in such a very short time makes us wonder whether there was actually something on the track, because that's not something we see ever, let alone twice within a couple of seconds. So maybe there was some debris on the track which affected tyres of both those races.
Look at this. It's the nerve center of our television operation here. Sadly, they've chosen not to show Nico and me, but you can see all the team working so hard in the OB truck. Great bunch of people. We love working with them, and they do a great job for us. That was a nice shot, Nico. Isn't it funny how the cameras don't get employed here in the comms booths?
Fortunate is what you mean.
No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Okay, perhaps it is fortunate. Right, safety car is coming in this lap. Big up to the safety team here at the Misano World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli, getting us back into a position where we can go racing so very quickly. I thought the safety car would be out for another lap or so. So now, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi needs to try and anticipate almost exactly when Thomas Neubauer is going to give it an absolute footfall. because he'll want to stick with him. And same will be true for Fabian Volved on Florian Merckx. To be fair, Backy didn't do a bad job there. And so they head into turn 1. Following that safety car intervention, they've both broken away just a little bit from John Vortique, who's P3. On board with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi now. He knows this lap is perhaps the easiest lap. Like anything is going to be easy about it, but it'll be the most advantageous lap for him to try and put an overtake on Thomas Neubauer. However, Neubauer, who was weaving from side to side to try and generate temperature into those tyres, ready to resume racing. He's got the measure of him currently. So on board with Tabacchi then. Takes quite a lot of the rumble strips. But Thomas Neubauer stretching his legs once again and building that margin between himself and the P2 driver. It's up to 4/10. And John Vortique trying to stick with them. Cooper McNeil showing in P6, of course, within class. He's done a lot of overtaking because he had a lot of cars to get by following his pit lane start right at the beginning of this race. Here comes Fabian Volvend on Florian Merckx. She wasn't quite able to make that stick. The Belgian driver Florian Merckx, Liechtenstein-based racer Fabian Volvend. And Fabian is really pushing Florian now. Florian is having to focus on the view from behind and to try and keep Fabian in check. Traffic ahead of them, of course. And you could see almost a little lock up there from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi as he continued his charge on Thomas Neubauer. Through this first sequence of turns they go. And here's that next battle, if you like, between Florian Merckx and Fabian Volvend. Just looking there at the line that Emanuele Maria Tabacchi was taking, is just trying to psychologically unsettle Thomas Neubauer ahead. But knowing Thomas, he won't have one view on the rearview mirrors. He will just be focusing on the centimeters of tarmac that are ahead of him, not worrying about Emanuele Maria Tabacchi behind. Trying to focus on his own laps and nailing every apex and just putting the lap times in that he needs to. And currently, Nico, I have to say, he's doing a tidy job of that.
Definitely, but I mean, the two of them, great races, each of them, and you know, it doesn't take a lot. It doesn't take a lot of a mistake from Neubauer to open the door for Tabacchi, but equally, and there's a car spinning in the background. Just saw that in the corner. I'm sure we'll get a replay of that.
Well done for catching that. I could see there that Lucky Kerr are doing a brilliant job in terms of keeping out of the way of the battles as Fabian Volvend again lights that car up against Florian Merckx. And she's really being pushed here by Mathieu Weibo, who of course wants to get on terms with Christian Brunsburg, but there's a couple of cars in the way of that, and those two cars are Florian Merckx and Fabian Volvend, and they indeed are involved in their own battle at the moment. So I can't help but feel that Fabian is being metaphorically pushed a bit by Mathieu Weibo. Meantime, Thomas Neubauer is able to continue that clean pair of heels, showing to Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. And just look how hard Weibo is now. And you can see how Fabian has lost pace, because what she's doing, she's having to almost defend against Mathieu Weibo, which is out of class. It kind of doesn't matter, but what she doesn't want is another car between her and the very, very driver that she is pursuing. Mathieu Weibo getting very frustrated behind Fabian Volvend in P7 overall, but it's a P2 within class, and he's just been denied from getting on terms with Christian Brunsburg. So there you can see Fabian Volvend, the Octane 126 driver in car number 5, and then right behind is Mathieu Weibo in the white and blue liveried 488 Challenge Evo. And ahead of both of them is Florian Merckx, who's just saying thanks very much, because it's all playing into his hands and allowing him to escape quite a bit from Fabian behind. Although Fabian now turns her focus away from defense and more to attack. And talking of attacking, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi not doing that at the moment on Thomas Neubauer. In fact, the margin between the two of them is 3.5 tenths, but I just wonder whether a real concerted effort from Tabaki will come in the final third of the race, which we're only 2.5 minutes away from. Here's Fabienne then taking a look at the outside of Florian Merckx. Florian knows exactly where to position that car, though. Florian, a super driver. So too is Fabienne. They're so evenly matched in terms of pace that Fabienne needs to almost try and provoke the tiniest of errors from Florian Merckx that would give her just the opportunity to squeeze through. But Florian's not known for making mistakes, truthfully. And once he's got everything set up perfectly, which he certainly appears to have, he's not going to let go of that P4 class position in a hurry. So all the hard work has to come from Fabienne Volvend. Now, earlier on, Nico, you were talking about track limits. That reaches a little bit more significance now, doesn't it?
Yeah, we've had a few drivers who've received multiple warnings, and that includes final warnings for Emanuele Tabaki. Obviously, he needs to be very diligent in his chase for Neubauer. It also includes the drivers like Sickens, and we've already seen multiple warnings for Florian Merckx. So those who are in those battles are very, very much in the focus of the race control and of the stewards, so they really need to be careful not to push too much.
Yes, because a time penalty awarded would fair ruin any chances of advancement in the race. So clean and tidy through every turn. And this track, perhaps more than many others, it really, really almost invites you to exceed the track limits, as you could see there from Emanuele Maria Tabaki. And as Nico has pointed out in programs previously from Misano, you can so use a compromised entry to give you a fantastic exit and entry into the next turn, almost getting a slingshot. And if race director Claudio Garavini feels that you've gained an advantage from exceeding those track limits, well, you will get wrapped across the knuckles for it. And Emanuele Maria Tabaki.
Sorry for cutting across you. I think Fabienne Volvend has overtaken Florian Merckx in the meantime.
She has. You're absolutely right. Good pickup on that. We didn't see that. Hopefully we'll get a replay of that, but all her fine efforts in terms of pursuing Florian Merckx has paid off in the end. And there you can see now she's been released from Florian. She can just get ahead, and she's built up a sizable gap over herself and Florian already. So proving that she's got the pace in that Octane 126 car. Fabienne Volvend does put herself ahead of Florian Merckx. It's not a podium place, it's P4. Oh, and there's a 5-second time penalty being awarded now to Hans Sickens. So, just proving what you and I said, Nico, that actually you're going to get your warnings, but if you continue to do it, you are going to get penalised.
Definitely, definitely. And so this man that we're looking at, Emanuele Maria Tabaki, he's really, you know, in a pinch because he wants to attack, he wants to win, but equally he doesn't want to lose 5 seconds because that might put him all the way down into P4 or 5 in class, and he hasn't missed the podium thus far. So it's not about the championship, it's more about honor and prestige right now. But, you know, he maybe will try to control it, but he will not stop attacking.
I was going to say, knowing Emanuele as you and I do, I was going to say he ain't gonna stop trying. But after saying that, it does look like the gap has increased significantly between himself and Neubauer. So perhaps he is keeping it between the white lines now, thinking that, you know what, I don't want to pick up that penalty, and I certainly don't want to compromise my my position in terms of maintaining his almost concrete podium placements across the course of the season. Thomas Neubauer, 1:36.741. Fastest lap of the race. Mathieu Weibo has not really been able to take advantage of the fact that Fabienne did get past Florian Merckx, because he's not been able to close up on Florian, much as I expected him to so do. So there is our race leader, Thomas Neubauer, race leader in terms of Trofeo Pirelli, race leader in terms of the AMS, who's Christian Brunsborg, who's really out on his own because he's got that comfort cushion, if you like, of Fabienne Volvend and Florian Merckx right behind him, protecting him from Mathieu Weibo, the nearest next placed driver. And Neubauer really extending his margin now. It's up to 1.5 seconds. There is Florian Mertz, who's running in that P6 position. And this is how Fabian Volvend got by. That was a good overtake from Fabian Volvend, Nico. She just seized the opportunity as Florian ran just a bit wide, and when he wanted to turn in, he couldn't do that because, well, Fabian had taken advantage of that already. So an opportunistic move, advantaged by Florian. Fabian did not need an invitation twice.
Definitely, and that's one of the situations where exceeding the track limits actually works against you because it opens the door so wide. And as you say, Fabienne Volvend, super experienced racer, super skilled. She went for it, clean overtake, well done. And she's already very much on the back of Christian Brunsberg. This obviously not for position in class, but she will certainly try to get past, and she's flashing her lights already saying, hey, come on, let me through. And he won't.
No, of course, clearly he won't. And I think with 6.5 minutes left, well, she'd have to put in some quali laps to get on terms with John Vortique and then try and wrestle away a podium. You just saw in picture then Cooper McNeil. By Jiminy, he's done some overtaking. He's up to P10 in the race overall. That's P6 within class, so lots of overtaking done by Cooper McNeil. Thomas Neubauer has not really had to overtake anybody, save for the challenges at the beginning from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. He's had it all to himself. Here comes Fabian Volvend, though, certainly trying to... Whoa! Tabacchi's gone around, Nico! Emanuele Maria Tabacchi has gone around. So he's lost out to John Vortique, but he's just managed to put himself back into a podium place. How did he do that? Rumble strips. It just unsettled the car. And, well, that is a real deterrent from exceeding the track limits. I just think on the entry to the turn, he took too much of the curb, and the rumble strips unsettled the car. It goes spinning around. Thankfully, he had the presence of mind to put it pointing in the right direction very quickly. He has lost out to John Vortique, but he managed to get going again before Fabian Volvend and Christian Brunsberg came across the number 33 car. That's a very rare error, if I may say, from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. Incidentally, Fabian has now got past Christian Brunsberg, so we could be on for a battle for the final podium place in the remaining 4 3/4 minutes if Fabian can get on terms with Emanuele Maria Tabacchi. She's got a couple of seconds deficit to make up. Every lap will have to be a quali lap, and there's probably only 3 laps of the race left.
Absolutely, but that will give us some drama potentially for the last few minutes. And as you said, Tabacchi is not someone who we see make mistakes. So maybe he just overdrove his tires a little bit, and that, you know, sent him on the wrong entry into that turn, and then the car was unsettled, as you said, and he spun around. So that's going to be very interesting. Watch that gap to the left hand of your screen between Tabacchi and Volvend, which is 1.8 seconds as we speak.
Forgive me, the other battle to watch now is the fact that Christian Brunsberg has been brought right into the clutches now of Mathieu Svaibo. This is the battle for the lead in the AMS. Well done to our team for picking this up, because Christian Brunsberg is going to be under real threat and real pressure now. Mathieu Svaibo will want to finish the season on an absolute high by winning the final race of the championship year. At the moment, what is preventing him from doing that is Christian Brunsberg from Formula Racing. Look how quick Svaibo is. But he's got to find a way by, and he's got to do it cleanly and tidily. So with the remaining 3.5 minutes, the real battle is going to be for the AM honours, the top step of the AM podium. Between these two drivers, Christian Brunsberg and Mathieu Svaibo, both equally determined. But I can't help but feel that Svaibo will feel, after a season which has had so much success, but also so much disappointment, he will want to take this. He dives to the inside. Whoa! It just was not on there going into that turn. Turn 16 now, and Svaibo is not quite close enough to be able to get the drag into turn number 1, I don't think. And now, Emanuele Maria Tabacchi is thinking, do you know what? I'm not going to settle for P3. I want P2 here. And he's really putting the chase on to John Vorteek. You can see just how hard 5-0 is driving now in the AM battle for the lead. The back end of the car really stepping out. Thomas Neubauer, well, he's almost on the Adriatic beach, ordering an ice cream. He's got so much margin, nearly 8 seconds over John Vorteek. And of course, Vorteek will be even ever more conscious of Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, who we're on board with now. And he doesn't need to make too many mistakes like that, where he runs just a little bit wider than he would have liked. Because Tabacchi, and I can't help but feel, Nico, you've made a really, really valid point. I think Tabacchi, having overdriven at the start of the race, potentially, he's really maybe struggling with the tyres a bit now, and the car is not going exactly where he wants it to go.
Possibly, but even if that's the case, I mean, he is still finding pace in that car. And we've seen that time and time again, where you think, you know, you've driven 28 minutes and, you know, the tyres have to be, you know, at their breaking point, but Tabacchi finds another magnificent magic lap from somewhere. So this is going to be interesting, but the more he's held up by Vorteek, as we can see right now, that allows Fabienne to maybe come into striking distance, but it's the last lap now to do it. One more go around.
It's now or never for Emanuele Maria Tabacchi then to try and get that P2 place. Fabienne getting closer as well, a three-way fight potentially for P2, P3. So Tabacchi then right on the back of Vorteek. And there you can see wherever Vorteek is placing that car. Well, Fabienne will hope that they'll come to blows in the final turns, because she'll try and take advantage of that. In the meantime, the Brunsberg Vibo battle has kind of gone away. Tabacchi dives to the inside. Clean and tidy move, to be fair, but can Vorteek come back at him now? Side by side, and here comes Fabian Volvent to join the mix too. So Vorteek could be vulnerable here. Fabian is on the rumble strips, trying to get a podium out of this race. And here comes Vorteek back again against Tabacchi. They're side by side, and Vorteek has done it. Whoa! Brilliant driving, and now Fabian Volvent takes advantage, or does she? This is extraordinary stuff from our Trofeo Pirelli drivers, as Emanuele Maria Tabacchi just a couple of turns ago was P2. Now he is P4. Thomas Neubauer weaves from side to side to celebrate the victory. And in the meantime, John Vorteek takes a superb P2. He wasn't going to take the overtake from Tabacchi lying down. And I can't help but feel that Emmanuel, trying to get the better of Vorteek, opened the door perfectly to Fabian Volvent, who took advantage and takes P3. Oh, Nico, what an extraordinary end of the race.
Absolutely. I mean, and you predicted it perfectly. That could happen. They could all come together, and then it's going to be one or two turns which decide everything behind Thomas Neubauer, and that's exactly what happened. Christian Brunsberg, congratulations, first win ever in the Trofeo Pirelli Ferrari Challenge, whatever, first win ever. Congratulations, and congratulations to this man as well, Thomas Neubauer. Well done, sir.
He was absolutely determined that he wasn't going to yield to the mistake of yesterday, and Thomas Neubauer, he'll still feel wronged after yesterday. There was no further action taken between the incident, or rather as a result of the incident between himself and Frederick Paulsen, and the contact going through the first few turns, but he'll still feel wronged about it. And look at that, great camaraderie from Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, and this was him just push, side by side with John Vorteek. Brilliant respect between the both of them. I don't think they actually touched a panel at all. It was your turn, my turn, your turn. Brilliant racing from the both of them. And credit to them for just extraordinary driving. And in the end, Fabian said, "Ta very much. I'm going to really take advantage of this." And wow, I mean, I could watch these onboards all day long. And there, Emanuele losing out to John Vortique because he was just wide, and then losing out to Fabienne as well. But, I mean, look at that, Nico. Such a credit to our racing drivers in Trofeo Pirelli. Not a touch between them in those incredibly intense battles.
Absolutely. Fair play to everybody. And also fair play, it has to be said, to John Dillon, 4th place, best of the season. And Thomas Roca, podium position in the AMs. Well done to those as well. But the show was delivered here among those cars. Brilliant drive.
Great that you pointed that out, because the Greypool Nottingham driver, John Dillon, so deserves that. I'd have loved to have seen him take a podium, and he was only one step away from that. Well done, John. P4. Brilliant drive indeed. Good drive from this man. The Shah Pozzi Garage driver, Thomas Neubauer, exits his car now, having taken the win, and he'll be very pleased with that. Fabienne Volvend, you can see her parents down there in the pit lane. And congratulations to Thomas Neubauer. Did a great job. Was threatened, certainly for 2/3 of the race, by Emanuele Maria Tabacchi, but saw it off. John Vortique, great drive from him. In the end, securing P2. And when everything was against him, well done, Fabienne. We're thrilled for you. Yannick Bardi, team principal there to the left-hand side of your picture, from Octane 126. And Christian Brunsborg, Formula Racing, winner, and deservedly so. Wow, what a race. Here, confirmation. Thomas Neubauer, race winner from John Vortique and Fabienne Volvend in terms of Pirelli drivers. For the AM drivers, Christian Brunsborg, Mathieu Weibo, and Tommaso Roca. Just ahead of John Dillon. Big overtakings from Cooper McNeil, though, past no end of cars. And there you can see the rest of the order. What a race. One of the best races of the season. Well done, Fabienne. Thank you. And you should do that, Nico.
I think that was more to me, but, you know, fair play.
Oh, well... Here comes the best action of that race to music, I hope, because I ain't got a voice left. Thomas Neubauer then for Charles Pozzi Garage. Pole position yesterday, was not able to convert it because he didn't even complete one lap. Certainly not put a foot wrong today.
Thomas, yesterday very unlucky start for you, and today from the pole position, a very good jump.
Yeah, I think we did a great race, a clean race. The start was a bit tricky with Emmanuel, but was aggressive, but everything was fine and fair. And so yeah, just focusing on my time and on the gap I was having with him, and just managing the tires at the beginning. But at the end, yeah, I was okay with him, and just ended up the race in first place. So all good. But now focusing on tomorrow, as it's the big one.
The world final race to come tomorrow. Let's take a look at the highlights of that extraordinary Trofeo Pirelli race. Emozioni Ferrari. And here then the race statistics. Best progress, John Vortique. Best progress in terms of the AMs, Nicolo Rossi. And we've not given Nicolo sufficient credit for that. Look, that's 7 places up. Fastest lap came from Thomas Neubauer for the Pirelli drivers and for Christian Brunsborg for the AM drivers. Incidentally, they are both winners, so that's kind of no surprise. So we are going to be heading up to the podium shortly. Michele Mambelli, who is outside, will be looking after the podium presentations for us, and that's where we go next.
And now we are ready for the podium, Pirelli race, main class race 2. Third on the podium, Fabienne Wohlander. Second place from Belgium, John Vortique. And the winner is Thomas Neubauer. From France national anthem. Race 2, Pirelli, race 2, Misano World Circuit. Gentlemen, take your trophy, please. Take your trophy and lift it. All together on the first step of the podium, please. All together on the first step of the podium. Please, all together, near, okay? This is the picture from Misano Adriatico, and thank you guys, thank you.
Top 3 cars then in Trofeo Pirelli. For Octane 126, the Liechtenstein-based lady racer Fabienne Volven takes P3. Francorchamps Motors Luxembourg engineer the car number 94, driven with aplomb by John Vortique. For Charles Bozzi Courage. The Trofeo Pirelli race winner, Thomas Neubauer.
Podium, welcome back, Tommy Rocca. Second place, Matus Wibo. And the winner is from Denmark, Christian Brunsborg. National anthem. Thank you. Claps, claps, claps for the podium I am class. And gentlemen, take yourself your trophy, please, and lift it. Lift it, and for photos and images from Misano Adriatico World Circuit, Marco Simoncelli. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much.
In terms of the AM drivers then, the top 3 cars, Rosso Corsa for Tommaso Rocca, P3. Perfect preparation from the Scuderia Prague team, as always, for our P2 Trofeo Pirelli AM driver Maciej Weibo. And the race winner in the AM classification for Formula Racing Denmark, Christian Brunsborg.
Only one driver on the podium. His name is the winner, Cooper McNeil. Cooper McNeil, the winner. National anthem. Cooper McNeil.
Well done to Cooper McNeil then. Many overtakes in that race. It's great to see Matt Dusenberry from Ferrari Challenge North America just behind the podium as well. Ferrari Westlake do a very good job, and Cooper does the best job of all in terms of driving that car, and he is on the North American podium, of course. In terms of Trofeo Pirelli drivers, he is the Pirelli champion in North America. And there, to the left-hand side of your picture is Matt Dusenberry. To the right-hand side of your picture is Cloud Senaretti, who will be up there in terms of only podium place for the Trofeo Pirelli AM drivers. Even though he didn't complete the race, he completed enough of it for him to be on the podium.
From Brazil, Claudio Senaretti, the winner. And now the emotional Brazilian national anthem. Claudio Senaretti, lift your trophy. And thank you for your race from Brazil. Thank you.
Cloud Senaretti then from Ferrari of Fort Lauderdale. That's it from Trofeo Pirelli Racing. The next race, Copa Race 2, will be here live from Misano. From Nico, myself, thank you so much for watching and enjoying that Trofeo Pirelli race. And make sure to join us for the world final to come from Trofeo Pirelli tomorrow. Bye-bye for now.